Start with a slightly eerie, mysterious tone when I was a kid, back in elementary school. There was this old couple in our village that everyone knew, Mang Braulio and Luzviminda. I'll never forget my mother's warning, don't you dare go near their house. They're Aswang, if you don't know, they're creatures from Filipino folklore, the kind that sucks blood and eats human flesh. I was only 8 years old, and just the thought of it sent shivers down my spine. My mum knew it too. All she had to do was say, "Do you want me to send you to Mang Braulio's house?" And I'd snap right into line, instantly becoming the most well-behaved kid on the block. But even as a child, something about it just didn't add up. If they were really these terrifying monsters, why was Mang Braulio the most respected healer in our entire town? It didn't matter who you were, adult or child, if you had a fever, the flu, or even just a sprained ankle, you went to him. Even my own mother took me. I was a sickly kid, always catching something. But my mom never once took me to a hospital. Instead, every single time, she'd carry me on her back all the way to Mang Braulio's little house. And you know what? Every single time, he healed me. His methods were traditional. He had this tiny bottle of oil that smelled sharply of menthol. He'd rub it along my spine and joints, pressing down firmly until I jolt from a sudden pang of pain. He'd just chuckle softly and say, "The wind settled right here. Let me just push it out." Then he'd take a piece of alum, what we call tawas, place it on an old stone mortar, and burn it until it turned to ash. He'd rub that ash on my forehead, chest, and feet, all while murmuring these quiet prayers under his breath. It felt like magic. Moments later, my fever would just break. Before we even made it back home, I'd be completely fine, already running around and playing with my friends. While he worked on me, my mother would sit and chat cheerfully with his wife, Luzviminda. They seemed like just a normal, friendly old couple. They never asked for money. People would just leave them tokens of gratitude, a few eggs, some bread, maybe some fruit from their garden. The whole village used to say, "Mang Braulio has a gift from God. His hands are miraculous." But then, slowly, dark rumors started to creep in. Whispers began to spread through the village. Some people swore they saw his eyes change color whenever a newborn baby was nearby. They said his dark brown eyes would shift to this murky, glowing yellow like a cat's eyes in the dead of night. They claimed he would sniff the air, lick his lips, and pace around restlessly, as if fighting an intense craving. The whispers grew more specific. He craves the flesh of babies, and Luzviminda, she started getting stranger too. She went to church every single day, but people noticed she never once received communion. Her rosary was always in her hand, but it had no crucifix. The end was just broken off. Someone even offered her a new one once, but she just smiled that strange smile of hers and refused it. The creepiest part was what happened every Friday. As the sun began to set, people would see her standing perfectly still, just staring at the setting sun. Her mouth would be slightly open, drool sometimes dripping down her chin, and her eyes wouldn't blink. Not once. It was a sight that sent a chill down anyone's spine. At first, it was just gossip, something people talked about in hushed tones. But then, something truly horrifying happened. A young couple, Merites and Noel, came to the village. Noel was suffering from terrible back pain, so they went to see Mang Braulio. But that day, something was off. It was Luzviminda who greeted them at the door, her smile unnaturally wide. She kept complimenting Merites on her beauty, and then she said something in this peculiar, sing-song voice. "You two are meant for each other. Never separate, you understand?" All the while, Mang Braulio stayed in the background, completely silent, his head down, refusing to even look at Merites. After the healing session, the couple thanked them and went home. But a few nights later, strange things began to happen at their house. Neighbors started hearing tapping sounds on their roof, weird rustling noises, and a faint hissing sound carried on the wind. At first, everyone brushed it off as just cats roaming around. But then, a strange sickness swept through the children in the area. They all came down with stomach pains and diarrhea, and the only thing that cured them, a visit to Mang Braulio. The very same night, the kids got better. The noises around Merites and Noel's house returned. One evening, Merites was hit with an overwhelming craving for sweets. It was so intense she started crying. She told her husband she was craving because she suspected she might be pregnant and begged him to go into town to buy her something sweet. Not long after Noel left, there was a loud bang, a heavy thud on the roof. Merites froze, her eyes locked on the ceiling. Then came a slow, knocking at the front door. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice trembling. There was no reply, just a faint scratching sound, and then silence. She screamed for help. Neighbors rushed over, and when they threw open the door, there was no one there, not a soul in sight. The whispers in the village grew louder, more certain it has to be the Braulio couple. The next morning, an enraged Noel stormed over to their house. After a long wait, Mang Braulio finally opened the door. His face was pale and drawn. When Nobel demanded, "Where is Luzviminda?" she suddenly appeared from behind her husband. Her expression was completely blank, her eyes hollow and waxy, like a doll's. Noel was so terrified by the sight that he just stumbled backward and ran home. A few days later, Merites confirmed her suspicion. She was pregnant. That very night, the sounds on the roof came back, but this time they were heavier, raspier. Noel, fed up and furious, grabbed a knife and rushed outside, shouting into the darkness, "I know who you are." All the dogs in the neighborhood started barking wildly. He spun around and saw her howling Luzviminda standing by their fence, her eyes just as empty as before. And then, just as quickly as she appeared, she vanished into thin air. No one ever actually saw them transform into animals. But every night after that, a large black bird would circle above Merites and Noel's house. It was relentless, but if someone from a neighboring house shouted "Alayng Luzviminda" into the night, the bird would immediately fly away, and moments later, someone would see her walking quietly back to her own home. It wasn't long before Maurice and Noel couldn't take it anymore. They packed their things and left the village without a word. From that day on, Mang Braulio and Alayng Luzviminda became recluses. They never stepped outside their house again. A week passed, and the village chief, along with a few other men, decided to check on them. Mang Braulio just peeked out the window and whispered something to the chief. We couldn't hear what he said, but after listening, the chief bent down and swept away a thin line of salt that someone had secretly sprinkled across their doorway. Immediately, the front door creaked open. The old couple came out carrying their luggage and a few wooden crates. They asked for a ride to the bus terminal. No one knew where they were going, and frankly, no one dared to ask after they left. The strange illnesses that had plagued our village completely stopped. But the story doesn't quite end there. They say that even now, every Friday at sunset, if you look toward the end of the road where their house used to be, you can sometimes see a dark figure standing there, staring at the houses where newborn babies sleep and swallowing as if in hunger. Thanks for sticking with me through this spooky story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe out there.